You guys can remember Supergirl Season 1, Episode 17, Manhunter, and you guys know I was pumped out of my mind for this episode. I mean, more than any episode of Supergirl we've had after the last episode, showing me what the show was capable of. I did not know what was going to happen in this episode. I was pumped out of my mind to see what was going to happen, and I knew this episode wasn't going to be as good as last week's. I knew that for a fact. There was no way it was going to be better than Episode 16. Like I said, I think the only episode that can come in competition with that airs tonight, World's Finest. I think that's the only competition that can, could, be better than, Falling, but this episode, I still really enjoyed. I thought this was a very strong episode. There were some things here that didn't really work for me, but definitely there were a lot of scenes that saved this from being a mediocre episode. This could have been a mediocre episode had it been for a few things that really made it a lot stronger, but let's just get into this episode, because like I said, I overall really did enjoy it. Not at all the best episode of the season, but still a very strong episode that was definitely less mediocre than episode 16, episode 15, and then I'll just get into it because this one was, like I said, really good. So we start at home right away. I love the way this episode starts. We see Kara sits at home. They're listening to newscasts about how the people have turned against Supergirl since she went on a red kryptonite rampage. And now people are wondering if she can turn against them again. They don't really know if they can trust her at this point, which she understands. And you see Kara, she's really upset about this. And Kat watches the newscast, complains to herself about how people aren't forgiving Supergirl and that she is, ready to forgive her. And other people don't seem like they're as willing. And I understand what Kat's, saying, but she also doesn't understand the damage that a lot of people went through. Supergirl, like I said, is the hero for National City. All of their faith relies in her, and they seem to, have all this faith in her, and the city pretty much is kind of broken without her, you see, and she tells Kara to get her some juice, and Wynn points out that she called in sick, which would make sense, obviously, because she doesn't really want to go anywhere or do anything, and Kat wonders who will man the phone, and Wynn figures that he will. Siobhan texts him to meet at Noonan's, and Wynn quickly excuses himself. James realizes that he's going to have to answer the phone for Kat, and Siobhan's back in this episode. I knew she wasn't going to be gone for long, but she's already back, and at Noonan, Siobhan complains about Kara ruining her life. She tells Wynn that no one's going to hire her now. Literally, no one's hiring her, and Wynn insists that it's not Kara's fault, it has nothing to do with that, and Siobhan says that she hates Kara, she wants nothing to do with her, and Wynn tells her that all powerful people have setbacks. He tells her to focus on what she really wants, and Siobhan agrees that nothing can stop her, and I definitely like that. I like seeing this confidence that Wynn has in her. You can tell that Siobhan really is mad against Kara, like she really wants nothing to do with her, but I like the Wynn saying, just move on from this, and it's the best thing to do. So at the DO, the news is running commentary on the alien that stopped Kara. Alex goes to John's cell, and he tells her to stop visiting him for fear of ruining her career. And most of this episode focuses on John, how John, Alex, and Kara, the connection they have to him and everything. And he tells her to stop visiting him for fear of ruining her career. John insists that his mission is to protect her and tells Alex to claim that he betrayed her. Alex refuses, but John warns that the government will tear the DO apart looking for anyone who helped him. And Alex says it's rock bottom, and she knows what kind of person that she's going to be. And basically, Lucy is back in this episode with Colonel James Harper. Here's the one aspect of the episode that just didn't work for me. The fact that Lucy would go back to the Marines after leaving Catco, I just didn't really believe. I don't really understand why they did this. To me, it just seemed like they did this to keep Lucy on the show because they really like Jenna Dewan Tatum. Like I said, she's a very good actress. I just don't see her as a Marine. Just something about it didn't really work for me. It was a bit too corny, and I really did not believe that Lucy would join the Marines, and especially because we know that she doesn't really agree with the way her father sees Supergirl. The Marines are controlling the DEO agents. Lucy agrees explains the Pentagon have ordered a joint task force to investigate John's infiltration of the DEO. Harper says that everyone there will be investigated to identify, remove, and prosecute enemies of the state. There really is no real villain in this episode. It's mainly the Marines that are the villain, and Lucy's there because the investigation requires someone familiar with the players, which again, I understand, but she says that she believes everyone there has been compromised, and Harper tells Alex that they'll deal with her loyalties later. And again, to me, it didn't just seem genuine. It just felt like Lucy was there because they wanted to bring her back and they didn't want to get rid of her yet. So the Marines take Hank to an interrogation room. Harper points out that John's been around his children for the last 10 years. John says that he'll cooperate with the investigation, but Harper points out a smell of burnt rubber. He explains that they're generating a stasis field to stop John from using his powers, because obviously they know he has these powers and they don't want him to use it on them. So Supergirl and Alex meet in the main room. Supergirl tells Alex that the military are blocking out her super hearing, and they obviously don't really trust Supergirl right now because of what happened, and then Lucy asks John what happened to the real Hank Henshaw, and we see 10 years ago pretty much the story of what happened to him. We see Henshaw address his team, says that they're all on the trail of a Manhunter, an alien fugitive in South America. He warns that the creature is the most dangerous fugitive they've ever faced, orders them to shoot to kill. Afterwards, Jeremiah suggests that they might have learned from talking with the alien. Henshaw insists that he wants the creature dead, tells Jeremiah to arm himself. The DO team arrives in the Peruvian Andes, and they track the alien by its heat signature. Jeremiah trips over a snake. John picks it up, calmly studies it, and I gotta say, the best aspect of this episode were the flashbacks. The flashbacks were so good in this episode. It kept it from being a mediocre episode, and I just thought they were so strong. It really added to the characters, and it kind of provided some things that we have yet to see, and I really enjoyed that. So now we see Alex warns Supergirl that they can't try and rescue John for fear that they'll be locked up with him. Lucy questions whether John saved Jeremiah, and John insists that he didn't kill him. Lucy wonders how he died. I will say that interrogation scenes were fairly weak. I wasn't a huge fan of them, definitely. If anything, that was really my problem here is, like I said, Lucy joining the Marines. It didn't really work for me. Is that the interrogation scenes I did not think were that threatening either. They kind of seemed just like TV interrogation scenes. So we see 10 years ago, Jeremiah makes camp realize that John is nervous around flames. John explains that he's the last survivor of Mars, and Jeremiah explains that the DO considers John a threat, and he shows John a photo of Kara, explains that she's also an alien refugee, and basically John says that he had daughters, and Jeremiah says that he'll explain to his superiors that John isn't a threat. He promises that he'll help John find his place on Earth, and says that the alien can consider him a friend, and as they prepare to shake, Henshaw opens fire, takes down John. We pretty much see the story that we know, that basically, he explains he designed the bullets for John. He shoots him in the arm. The Martian regenerates the wound, and Jeremiah tackles Henshaw and he refuses to listen. They struggle, and Henshaw finally falls off a nearby cliff after stabbing Jeremiah in the stomach. And as he dies, Jeremiah asks John to take care of his girls, and basically, it's pretty much what we heard, that, you know, Henshaw had died but we didn't know that Henshaw was kind of scared of this alien, and that he wanted to kill the Martian Manhunter, basically, because to him, he was just an alien, and I thought that was very interesting. So later, the shapeshifted John returns the DO shapeshifted into Henshaw's form, and that's how he was able to pretend to be Hank Henshaw. So in reality, Alex and Kara never knew the real Hank Henshaw, which is very interesting, and I definitely like finding this out, because, you know, we know, of course, that John, is the real Hank, is Hank Henshaw, and is pretend to be him, but they didn't actually knew the real Hank Henshaw, which I found to be very interesting, and I really like that idea. So, back in the present, John says that he took on the responsibility of director of the DEO. He's prevented many alien attacks. He says that he's dedicated his life to protecting Earth. Lucy says that it isn't about him being different, and Harper suggests that John was going to build an entire army, an alien army, and John insists that all he's done has brought honor to the DEO, and that's true. That's all he's done. He stayed very loyal, and John was a sorry excuse, and that Henshaw was a sorry excuse for a man, and that the real Henshaw wasn't, you know, a good man. And Furious Harper insists that Henshaw was his best friend, and that John murdered him, which, you know, here's my thing with this episode. If Henshaw was his best friend, why didn't Harper notice any differences in John? Why all of a sudden is he noticing that John is off? Because they're supposed to be best friends. Why wouldn't he have noticed that something was off there? That just didn't really make sense to me. Like I said, the interrogation scenes just weren't very strong. Lucy and Harper escort John out. Alex demands to know where they're taking him. She says that John has saved his life repeatedly, and Harper tells her that wherever Hank is going, Alex is next, and they don't know where they're taking him, they just know that Alex is going with him, and we don't know what they're going to do. But that night at Catco, Siobhan sneaks in after Kat leaves, hacks Kara's laptop. She then types up a fake email insulting Kat, and that's what she does. She types up an email, like, seriously? What is it with DC and emails? I mean, the Batman v Superman, we had that email with, like, Wonder Woman, we all know that scene, and then we have this with, like, her sending this email to Kat. I mean, I didn't find it very interesting, I have to say. Harper and Lucy then hook Alex up to a lie detector. They begin questioning her in the control room. Supergirl asks Vasquez to disable the sound dampening tech in the interrogation room. Vasquez refuses, insisting that Harper and Lane have a job to do. She then walks away, leaving the controls in plain sight. Harper asks Alex if she knew that John was being impersonated when she was recruiting the DEO. The machine registers she's telling the truth, and this is really when the episode got great for me. When we got these flashbacks, I really enjoyed it, because then we meet Alex 3 years ago, and this is something that we never knew. I mean, we knew that Alex joined the DEO, but we never really know why, and why John's always been so protective of her. We've never really known, and here we really learn. We see Alex was partying, she was drinking heavily, she staggers down the street until the police arrest her, and this is a way different Alex than we've seen. I mean, she kind of was a rebel, and she just kind of partied all the time, and Alex, and basically, who she thought was Hank, came to see her in jail and introduce himself. He knows all about her scientific background, how she felt she could never measure up after Kara joined her family. John tells Alex that she's special, owes herself and her father better. He explains he's with the DEO and they need her to be the person that John knows she can be, and that, you know, this isn't her, that she is, you know, in this life that, you know, John knows that she's not really should be in, and that she can be a lot better than she thinks she can. And at the DEO, John tells Alex that she'll be trained to deal with aliens, and when she can beat him, she'll be ready. And I thought it was a really good scene. It shows why these two are as close as they are, and you understand why John recruited Alex. It's kind of like that origin story that we'd seen like a Marvel movie. We see that, you know, she was, and of course we've seen the story of, like, someone partying and drinking heavily and then someone trying to help them, but it gives more of a reason for why John and Alex are so close, because John kind of got Alex out of that rebellious life. He helped her out. He stopped her from doing something stupid, or maybe, you know, who knows what would have happened at that party. She could have gotten raped. She could have gotten, you know, really alcohol poisoning. I mean, anything really could have happened, and luckily John tried to turn her life around, which I like seeing. Really good scene. I definitely really enjoyed that. And then we see back in the present, Alex says that John gave her a home and a purpose. Harper asks if she knew Hank was this alien when he recruited her. Alex says no. The machine confirms she's telling the truth, and Supergirl listens as Harper says that Alex is a terrible agent but not a criminal. That they, you know, there's nothing they can really do to her. Lucy says that Alex is lying and puts her under arrest. Supergirl goes to confront them. Harper says that he's taking Alex and John to protect Cadmus and to Project Cadmus, and at Catco, Kara arrives at work, tells James that Lucy dragged Alex and John away to Project Cadmus. James is surprised to learn that Lucy's back in National City. He can't believe she's actually there, and he explains that Project Cadmus is a dissection lab for the government. They weaponize alien abilities for military purposes, and no one knows where it is, and Kara says that she knows what has to do, but will need James' help in this. So James calls Lucy to Kara's loft. She wants to know what is so important that they need her, and Kara finally tells her that she's Supergirl. She finally reveals this to her, which I was very happy about. I mean, she was gonna, you know, James was gonna tell her anyway. He just never got the chance to, and she says that she's the only one who can stop John and Alex from being sent to Cadmus. Lucy wonders why she should help them when they lie, and Kara says that when someone is an alien refugee, they don't have a choice. And we see a flashback to 12 years ago. I really like the way this was done. Alex takes Kara to school for her first day. This is back when Kara was basically when she met Alex and her family. Because you remember when Kara crashed into her pod, she was 12, and Kara's overwhelmed by her abilities. We see this boy, Rick Malvern, comes over, invites Alex to Swan Beach after school, and when Alex says she has to take care of Kara, Rick invites her along. On the beach, Kara looks at the birds. Alex tells her to stop. Kara hears a car crash, runs off to help. She gets the driver out, rescues her baby. Just as Alex and the other kids run up, the car explodes. The debris slams into Kara and Alex. And later at home, Jermiah tells Alex that she can't expose her superpowers to the world. He says that all she needs to be is Kara Danvers. She can't, you know, expose herself, and he gives Kara a pair of glasses that will suppress her x-ray vision and make her life easier, and I like the way that was done. Now we know why she wears those glasses and what they do. And I mean, we kind of knew this, but at the same time we didn't. I always wondered why she did that, because we know why Clark Kent wears glasses, because I thought it was always just because, you know, he was trying to be disguised, but no, now we know that she wears those glasses to suppress her x-ray vision, which I thought was very interesting. So then we go to 2 years ago when Kara is first being interviewed at Catco. She bumps into Wynn. Right away, things are very awkward between these two, but you see right away they hit it off real quickly. He assures her that it's okay, introduce himself, just as Kat's current assistant walks out crying. Kind of a funny scene. I like the way that was done. Kat calls Kara in, and Wynn tells her to be herself, and that Kat dismisses her as a millennial who needs to earn the right to have an opinion. She asks Kara why she's so special, because it's clear she's dealt with so many millennials before, and she doesn't want to. And Kara says that there's nothing special about her. Kat agrees that she's average. Kara says that she is extraordinarily committed to her job, and she just wants to help, and she used her extra vision to spot Kat's prescription offers to make pharmacy runs for her, and Kat's pen runs out of ink. Kara has a new pen ready. She mentions she hasn't done anything to prove that she's worthwhile. Notices a broadcast of a forest fire. Kat asks if she's willing to sacrifice everything for the job, and Kara agrees, and that's basically how she got the position at Catco, which, again, wasn't something we necessarily needed to know, but it was just a good detail. I like that we found this out. It makes us care about these characters more. It makes us kind of see why they are the way they are today, and it also shows why Alex will never leave the DEO. It'll show why Kara will never stop working for Kat, and why these things are just never going to happen, which I definitely like seeing. So, really good stuff there. I definitely really enjoyed that. And then we go back to the present. We see Kara tells Lucy that as an alien, she's had to sacrifice everything to fit in. Lucy points out that Kara has trouble fitting in because she lies. James asks Lucy if she's willing to let Henshaw and Alex suffer, and Kara warns that if Lucy goes along with Harper to fit in... Hang on one second. Sorry guys, my mom was telling me that dinner was ready, but I'm going to get back to the episode. Kara tells Lucy that as an alien, she has to sacrifice everything to fit in. Lucy points out that Kara has trouble fitting in because she lies, and James asks Lucy if she's willing to let John and Alex suffer, and Kara warns that if Lucy goes along with Harper to fit in, then she's betraying herself, and that's not what she should do, because, you know, if she's doing that, then she's betraying Kara, she's betraying James, she's betraying all of them, and I like the way this was done. She explains that she told Lucy with her secret identity because she trusts her to do the right thing, and you know, I feel like I thought this was going to backfire. I thought that Lucy was going to go against them, but it wouldn't go with her character, and that's the thing again. Lucy being in the, you know, Lucy again being a Marine didn't exactly work, but the outcome of it, I think, worked well. Harper and the Marines transport a captive, John and Alex by truck. Harper promises to distract him to figure out his powers work. He insists it's a necessary place to save human lives and protect the world. Kara and Lucy ride up a motorcycle truck, and Harper tells the driver to take them out. When he swerves, Harper drops the remote controlling Hank's power nullification shackles. Alex smashes the remote. John frees himself, advances on Harper. The truck breaks to a halt, and Kara knocks the two Marines out at super speed. John dismisses Harper, who dares him to use his powers and prove that he's a monster. And when Alex objects, John says that he's getting better with his mental abilities, and it makes Harper forget what happened. However, he jerks away, tells Alex that he saw Jeremiah in Harper's mind at Cadmus, and he tells Alex that Jeremiah is still alive, which this is coming out of nowhere. I mean, they thought that Jeremiah was dead, but now he's saying that no, Jeremiah could still be alive. And outside, we see Alex and John tell Kara what they've learned. She wants to go with them, but Alex warns that she's a fugitive now, and she has to do this on her own, and asks Kara to have faith in her. Kara wonders what she'll do without her. Alex says she's never needed her. The sisters hug, and then John and Alex leave. It's clear that they're going to go try to find Jeremiah. Kat then calls Sibohan into her office, says that she's short-staffed, and Sibohan asks about Kara, and Kat says that she thinks she's made a terrible mistake. She tells Sibohan that Kara sent her an email of what she really thinks of her. Sibohan feels Bane's ignorance, but you know, she thinks that she has no idea where it's coming from, and, you know, she thinks that Kara sent the email, which, of course, Sibohan did, which, again, I thought was kind of stupid. Kat calls him Win. He explained that he analyzed the typing speed patterns on the hard drive, and it matched Siobhan's, and I like that Win was able to figure out this was Siobhan, and Siobhan tries to explain, but Kat tells her, save for the police if she ever tries something similar again, and as she goes, Siobhan glares at Win, and she tells her to get the hell out of her office, never come back, which I was happy that Kat, again, was mad at Siobhan. Siobhan's a bitch, really she is, so... Supergirl and Lucy return the DEO. Vasek explains that Harper has resigned and named Lucy the name of the new head of the DEO, which again, I don't know, it doesn't really go with her character, but alright. Lucy, and again, it seems like a way to keep Lucy around. Lucy asks Supergirl if she's going to help her. Supergirl assures her that she'll do fine. Vasquez reports a bank robbery with no alien involvement. Lucy tells Kara that she belongs there. She notes the Kara got her to trust her, and it's a start, and Supergirl leaves, and... they clearly have this newfound trust of each other. Like, she now knows who she is, and they know that they can trust each other, which I like. I like the way that that was done. Really good stuff there. But then the ending of this episode is very interesting. We see Siobhan's drinking on the roof of Catco. She sees Supergirl fly past. Win runs out, tells Siobhan not to kill herself. Siobhan says she has too much self-esteem to kill herself. Blames Win for ratting her out. He insists that he's on her side, figures that Siobhan would have regretted it if her plan would have worked. Siobhan insists that Win knew nothing about her. She backs off, falls over the edge, basically. You know, first she said she wasn't going to kill herself, but then falls over the edge. But as she falls to the ground, she screams. The sound waves break her fall, and there's definitely something more going on with Siobhan than we think. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know if Siobhan is, you know, an alien or something, but Apparently, she's going to be the Banshee, and that's going to be, like, one of the things that Flash and Supergirl have to defeat in the next episode. But I am so ready for the crossover, guys, because like I said, this was a good episode. Like I said, the flashbacks really made it a great episode. Without the flashbacks, though, it was a good episode. I still really did enjoy this episode. It wasn't my favorite episode, but I definitely enjoyed it. I like seeing Alex and John now go find Jeremiah. Is Jeremiah alive? And obviously he is. Where is he hiding? Are they going to find him? Let's see what happens there. It's going to be very interesting. I'm sure we're going to focus on that in the next episode because Alex and John are on the poster with Supergirl and Flash, so I'm assuming they're in this episode. Lucy, again, I don't really believe that Lucy would join the Marines, but I like that Kara finally told her the truth, and now she kind of has a newfound respect for Kara, and I like the way that was done. Really good stuff there. What is going on with Sibohan? I don't really know who she is, but it's clear there's something more in her than we think. She's clearly not just some girl that's replacing Kara. There's definitely more going on with her. What it is, I don't really know. We'll have to see. That's going to be very interesting to see what's going on with her and who she really is, because like I said, she definitely has something within her. What it is, I don't know, but we'll have to see what happens with that. I really like the flashbacks in this episode, though. It really gave us context to these characters. It made us understood why they care about Henshaw so much, why they've stuck by Henshaw after all this time, and I really like those scenes. Like I said, very good stuff there. I really enjoyed it. And then as far as the whole thing with James and Cargo, things are awkward, definitely, but I think a lot of people are starting to find faith in Supergirl again. She still doesn't have the following that she had, and I feel like it's going to take a while for her to get that following back, but at least Lucy trusts her. Lucy understands who she is. She understands why things were the way they were between James and her, and I don't know if this is saying that James and Lucy are getting back together, because they're definitely not, but I do think this means that Lucy and Kara, they're going to be a lot different towards each other. They have a newfound respect for each other, and I definitely like that. I do think Sibohan was a little out of character in this episode, to be honest. I didn't really see them putting Sibohan in this villainous direction, but they did in this episode, and we'll have to see where that goes. But overall, guys, I'm glad you guys saw this episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed this episode overall. The flashbacks really made a great episode. Without the flashbacks, it was an okay episode, but I still really did enjoy it. I cannot wait for tonight's crossover. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for it. I don't know how it's going to be, but it's going to be amazing. I hope you guys saw this episode, and we'll see you guys in my next show, which will be for the crossover, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.